Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
This is Alex, and I'm here until midnight tonight with the Ramble. Ladies and gentlemen, out to California, out to Larry Bubbles Brown. How you doing, Larry?
Hello, Alex. I'm on fire.
You're on fire. Tell me why you're on fire.
No, I'm just trying to be upbeat for your program.
Yeah. Is there anything to be upbeat about?
I'm not bleeding, so I guess that's good.
Yeah. Well, when you're not, what was it? I had a producer, Albert, who said to me, I said, I don't know if I'm well. I don't know if what I've got is a problem here. And he goes, is it bleeding? And I said, no. Then if it doesn't bleed, don't worry about it. So that's something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so how have you been?
I've been doing nothing exciting. Things are slowly opening up, so hoping to get back into this ruse of stand-up again.
Well, supposedly San Francisco is 10% away from herd immunity or something?
I know the numbers here have been incredibly low, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that the enough people have gotten the shots that they're within 10% of herd immunity. Just San Francisco, wow. Not California, but San Francisco. At least that's what I hear.
Well, I guess we're coming back then.
Yeah, we are.
Supposedly the Punchline and Cobb's may open in August, so it's still a way off. So.
Oh, okay. Well, if you were here in New York, you'd be opening up next week.
That's what I heard. So that's great.
Well, I don't know if it's a little premature. You know, I mean, I don't want to take chances with my life. I don't know about yours. You know.
Well, you're fully protected, though.
Yeah, I'm fully protected. You get your shots?
Not yet.
Why not?
I'm waiting. That yeah, my joke was I finally got my shot. Polio. I like to wait 60 years and make sure they're safe.
Oh, boy. Oh, God. Yeah. All right.
Now, do you remember I remember when we got the polio shot, I think it was not a shot, it was on a sugar cube.
I remember the sugar cube. That's how I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always give, what's his name, who came up with the Salk vaccine? Salk.
Albert.
Jonas Salk.
Albert Sabin.
And then Albert Sabin. But they always give Salk all the credit. And yes, he did come up with the first polio vaccine. However, the kids didn't like getting shots. So it didn't get the critical mass and wiping it out until the cube came along. And Sabin came out with the oral vaccine. And now we're working on an oral vaccine for this. And that might change everything too.
Did not know that.
Yeah, but you didn't real. But then again, I love it how people say, "I'm waiting to see if it's safe." How many people have taken this now? How many have died?
Well, could pop up years later.
What'd you say?
You could have reactions months or years later to it.
Oh yeah, because it's all those what is it? 5G they're putting in your system with the. I love it. They can track. They can track me wherever I go. Yeah. What about that phone you're carrying?
I know. Before the cell phone, there was all the talk. The government's going to put a chip in all of us, and well, now they don't need to.
They don't need to. We're carrying the chip around with us.
Yeah.
Except for you.
Except for me. Although, isn't there a way? I think they sell these sleeves where you can put your phone in that. It blocks the signal.
It blocks the signal?
Yeah, it's like a little aluminum
Then
sleeve.
can I ask you a little question here, and it may be a moot point, but then how do you make a call?
Well, you have to pull it out to make the call.
Oh, but then they know where you
otherwise
are.
They're not
Then
able to track every moment.
But when you make the call, then they know where you are.
Yeah. But when it's in the sleeve, they don't know where you are.
I see. Okay. If that's okay. All right.
This is Paranoia 101.
Yeah. Are there any other things you're paranoid about?
Just, I used to be paranoid about dying, but now I've accepted that, I think.
I'm paranoid about dying. I every morning I wake up with the fear of death. I really do.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, it's terrible. It's terrible. But at my age, it's a reality. You know? I mean, but, you know, I've always had this fear of death, and now it's, you know, and on top of that, I'm tired all the time. Just tired all the time. And
Well, that's from the allergies.
it could be the allergies. It could be a lot of different things, you know. But I don't think it's anything serious. I just think it's being indoors for a year. That helped, you know. So I'm just tired all the time. I mean, I'm exhausted right now.
Yeah, so you're not getting any vitamin D.
You know, I take vitamin D. You know, I don't know. I mean, I've been taking walks lately. You know, trying to do that.
Well, that's good. You've been in the house for a year. That's incredible.
Yeah, but every day this week I've taken some kind of walk. Okay, usually a couple of miles. So
That's great.
Yeah, but I still feel tired. You know, it didn't help me. And then I'm eating early, thinking maybe I just what I do is I don't eat until dinner time, and maybe that's the reason I'm tired. You know, I'm not getting any food in me.
That could be it.
But here I am. I had a couple of eggs just now and some bread, and I'm dog tired. I don't know if you can tell that I'm tired, but I'm tired.
You don't sound tired, but Are you getting your Diet Coke? You need your caffeine.
I'm drinking my coffee right now.
Okay.
That doesn't do anything for me. I'm going to go back to cocaine. I think that's maybe the answer, you know? Because I remember on cocaine, I was never tired. I was always awake and chatty.
Cocaine was so big in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. How long? Well, cocaine's been around forever, but when did it become popular? Was it the 80s?
I think when I started using it was the 80s, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mid-80s. Well, actually, no, early 80s. Early 80s. I remember the first time I ever had Coke, I was in, I don't think I ever did it in New York. And then I went to San Francisco, and I was working at this radio station, and like every radio station, there was a Coke dealer who worked there.
There was, yes.
So we held this thing, whatever it was, I don't know, some kind of event, and we all went to the bathroom, and everybody was, suddenly there were like 10 people in each stall. I couldn't figure out why. And I said, what's going on in there? And they said, come on in. And they dragged me in, and they stuck a spoon under my nose, and after that, I was into Coke, you know. Well, who wasn't? I mean, did you do any back then?
I tried it 3 times, and it really didn't do anything for me. But
it didn't do anything for you?
First 2 times, nothing. The third time, it made me a little nervous.
Yeah. Well, it made me. I thought I got hooked on it, but then when I had to go to Florida to work, I took Coke with me. I did my last toot at the Florida border, and then I quit. And I thought it was going to be hellacious, you know, that I was going to go through these withdrawals and all that. Nothing. I just, you know, a couple of days I wished I'd been a little more, what we call a little peppier, but outside of that, I was okay, you know.
Well, it's amazing because you need drugs to live in Florida.
But I sure could use it right now, you know. Yeah, but anyway, so Coke was a good hobby, and I was making enough money that it didn't, it wasn't I wasn't spending all my money on Coke. All right, so so that's the difference there.
You're right. There's always one. Is always a very sleazy looking person that was the dealer. They were always around, hovering like. In the comedy clubs, there'd be a guy like that. And
there was one comedy club we went to where they had Coke all the time. I think the name of the club had something to do with a guy's name and an initial.
I didn't know that, really.
Didn't know that?
No.
Oh, God. You go there, the back room. Oh, my God. They should have called it the powder room.
Well, I remember there was a big study came out in the early '80s that said cocaine was not addictive, and then it turns out it was to a lot of people.
Well, nothing is addictive unless you are subject to being addicted by it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just lost him. Son of a bitch! Just out of a clear blue sky, we just lost him. Now it says Larry is unavailable. Let me try it again. Here we go. He has to. There we go.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there. It just all of a sudden, boop, nothing.
I know.
We do these calls using Skype. That may be the problem. But we can't use Zoom because Larry is not hooked up for that. So,
yeah.
Have you ever done Zoom?
No.
No. Listen to him. It's like, what are you asking me a question like that? No,
it's very dismissive. I've seen. I know a bunch of comics are doing Zoom shows, but they just sound like it's not. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. Of course, it doesn't work. If I asked you right now, hey, you haven't done your act in a long time, Larry. Come on, do a few minutes of it. Go ahead, do a few minutes of it.
Wouldn't work.
I mean, the only time your material ever gets on the air here is when I'm quoting you, And I love, my favorite quote is, I don't mind having my identity stolen. Now somebody else can have no life. That's my favorite line of yours.
I'll ride that one into the grave.
yeah, it's one of your best lines.
So you were talking about people having addictive personalities. So
yeah. I mean, the thing is about addictive personalities is certain things you can get addicted to and certain things you don't get addicted to. I found that I was not addicted as addicted to cocaine as I thought I was. Okay? I mean, everybody's telling me, if you've been doing it for a while, it's going to be really hard to quit, so you don't ever want to quit. But one day I had to quit, and it was easy. One day I decided to quit smoking. That was it. I mean, I had this amazing ability to just stop doing stuff.
That sounds like you do, because giving up smoking sounds like it's impossible for most people.
Well, there was a clue that I had. I give this to everybody whenever they say, I'm thinking of quitting smoking, although you don't meet many people like that anymore because most people have quit smoking or didn't start at all. But when they think about quitting smoking, I said, here's what you do. You're not quitting smoking. You're going to see how long you can go without a cigarette. Don't put a what do you call it, a thing in front of you, a goal in front of you. I'm going to quit smoking. Well, that's giving yourself something that you might be able to fail at, But if you say, I'm going to see how long I can go without smoking, that's a different story. So that's my suggestion.
Could you give up coffee?
If I had to, I'm not that addicted to it, and quite frankly, I'm tired. I told you I was tired, right, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm drinking coffee now. It's not doing a goddamn thing for me.
I would have a hard time giving up Diet Coke.
I have not been doing Diet Coke lately. Maybe I should do more of it. I've found what I've started using is at Costco. They have this Kirkland sparkling water, and it's flavored. So it comes in kiwi, it comes in raspberry, it comes in something else. And I've been drinking nothing but this stuff. I haven't even been doing Snapple. I've been doing this stuff. So maybe I should go back to doing the Diet Coke a little more. Maybe that will pep me up.
That's where I get my caffeine blast. So
that maybe somebody told me you actually get more of a caffeine blast out of Diet Coke than you do out of coffee.
That's really? Wow.
That's what I heard. That's what I'd like to believe.
Okay, well, somebody saw me once. Looked like I was half dead, and I had a Diet Coke, and suddenly I just came to life.
Yeah.
So maybe it does.
Hey, well, listen, we've run out of time here.
It goes by quickly.
Doesn't it go by
quick? Titans together.
You two titans of comedy. Anyway, talk to you next week.
We will. Yes, we will.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bubbles Brown.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, I fucked up the opening tonight where I ran the bubbles slide, and then I did the and it's because I took that nice pill last night, and it makes me all discombobulated. So what the hell? I don't care anymore. I really don't. I've lost all will to do a perfect show. It's I go online, and my latest thing is, of course, I told you how much I like YouTube from the standpoint that if you had to build a house, you could probably build a house learning how to build it on YouTube. Okay, so that's YouTube. All right, and so I go to YouTube and I figure maybe they'll have some hints on how to get more listeners to your show. Because, I knew how to get listeners to a radio show. That was what I did for years. I was very good at it. I got big audiences. And but when it comes to the internet, all the rules have changed. I mean, guys are getting, 1 million views on the 10 things you didn't know about Star Trek. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I should do something like that. But then again, I go, that's not me. I wouldn't have fun doing that. I have fun talking to these people every night here. I wish we'd get some new ones occasionally joining us and mixing it up a little bit. Like you out there who have never called, and maybe you should call tonight. All you do is you go to gabnet.net, which is our webpage, and there's a thing that says Zoom. You just click on that. It automatically takes you to here. Why not? Okay, why not? Anyway, so that's my. So I look at these things, and this was one about. Well, here's how to do it, and I start watching it, and these guys are so fucking dull. I'm going, well, I don't want to watch these guys, and if I don't want to watch these guys, they're telling me how to get people to listen to me. Oh, here's what you do. You must have a plan. Your program must have a plan. You must know where you're going to go with your plan. And I go, geez almighty, And then I look at the people who do well on the podcasts and so on, and it's just ridiculous. It is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what her name is. Miranda, I think, was her name. And a few years back, Seinfeld decided to put Miranda on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee because he figured, well, she's a big hit. She's got like 3 million people watching her. She'd be good for a show. And he took her out for coffee in the car like he normally does on that show. And at one point he looks at the camera and goes, this is not going well. Because this girl didn't even know who Jerry Seinfeld was, okay? Now, I know we find that a little impossible to believe. We don't understand who Jerry Seinfeld is. But let's be honest, folks. When was the Seinfeld show on? Okay, it was on in the, I believe it was on in the 80s, okay? And made it to the 90s, all right? Okay, so a kid growing up today would have to be over 40 years old to know who Jerry Seinfeld was. Okay? So when you hear about a kid going, really, you had a big show? You were a #1 TV show? Wow. I have 3 million hits on my show. And you go, well, how dumb is she? And I go, she's not dumb. She just doesn't pay attention to what went on before her. And there are lessons to be learned from what went on before you. Okay? So, anyway, so here you got all these people giving advice on how to get people to watch, and I'm at a loss. I don't know where to begin. I've got a couple of hundred people that watch this every day, and it used to be maybe 400, 500, but it's dwindled as the internet has grown. There's so many podcasts out there now. It's it's literally a drain on the market. And so consequently, I have no idea how you do it. How you get people to watch you. How do you get the word out there? I don't want to pay for advertising. I'd like word of mouth to do this. And then I wonder if I really have a product anybody wants to really watch. Let's be honest about it, okay? Why would you want to watch this? It's an hour and a half long, and it's people talking for an hour and a half. Now, maybe in your car or listening on the audio version, which is also going out, even as we speak, okay? It's going out as we speak. As an audio version, and people could listen to the audio version during the day by going to gabnet.net and just where do you go exactly? Oh, I can't remember now. You go to our site and you just click on the player there, and it will play it for you. Or you can go to over to I'm trying to remember Spotify. Yeah, Spotify. TuneIn carries it live, okay? I'm trying to think of all the things that carry it live. I've signed up for so much stuff. We're on Spotify. We're on Pandora. This show is on iHeartRadio. It is also on, we have all our shows on, did I say on Pandora, Spotify, TuneIn, just a lot of different places. And I can't remember half of them now. Some people go, oh, you're on Stitcher. And I forgot. Yeah, we're on Stitcher. I signed us up for Stitcher a long time ago. But anyway, I go out to all these people, and it doesn't help in the least. And of course, you can listen to us on iTunes. You can listen to the last night's show, the most recent show, any of our shows actually, whether it's Jack's or mine or the sports show or Damien. Or Michael Snyder's movie reviews are on Apple, okay, on the podcast. But I mean, with all those outlets, I think probably my audio does in the end get more listeners. Every now and then I check to see what kind of numbers we get on those, and they're pretty good. And I'll tell you what got me good numbers. Last Sunday, Marjorie and I took a hike up to Columbia University and then to Broadway. And we went and got lunch. And I did a video of it with Marjorie and I having lunch. And for some reason, that got more viewers. That little video, which is maybe 20 minutes, got more viewers on YouTube for me than any of the shows of the previous week. Okay? Just that, okay, and I didn't do it on I didn't do it on iTunes. I did it on Facebook. I do a lot of my stuff to Facebook because it's easier for me since I already have the whole thing going with TuneIn, and I don't want to ruin it. I'd have to explain the whole process to you, but anyway, so I do the shows that I don't do at night here, which I do live on iTunes on. I hate it when I just can't remember anything anymore. I always have to look now on YouTube. I find it if I do it at Facebook, it's better. It gets to many people faster. I don't know why. But anyway, like today, I did a thing in the park, and I got some viewers to that, and that combined with the ones that were on YouTube, which you can go to YouTube and it's there. got me about as many viewers as I got last night on this show, and I didn't have to work hard on it. So I keep wondering what is the magic potion to get. I mean, there are people getting 1 million views. Okay, Joe Rogan, who really sucks. Okay, Joe Rogan is just a mediocre comic. Always was, always will be. But for some reason, he got $1 million contract with Spotify, which they're starting to kind of have buyer's remorse about. Okay, but I think with Spotify, yeah, he got got paid $1 million for his show to be exclusively on Spotify. I don't know why. What's so great about that show? There are a lot better people doing podcasts. But, it's a matter of being able to get the publicity, pay for the advertising to get that publicity. It's not like when I began doing it, I could get large audiences because people were looking for stuff to listen to. Now, there is so much of it out there, and so many people are spending money to advertise it. Like, for instance, some of the people on CBS Sunday Morning do little podcasts, and then they advertise the podcast on CBS Sunday Morning. Well, how am I going to get that many viewers with that kind of advertising and that kind of publicity? So, it's become as it's grown, and I think there's something like 3 million podcasts. What is this? This is this, right? And I'm trying to kind of do it like I used to do radio, but quite frankly, that isn't what people want to hear. And also the investment you have to make is like maybe an hour and a half. And that's okay if you're driving and in a traffic jam and so on. And you can listen to my last night's show and it keeps you company. But how many people want to do that, And so how do we get an audience out there? I have no idea. And there are nights when I sit here and I go, this is it. I don't think I want to do this anymore. This has ceased to become fun. Okay? Because for me, see, I'm an old-time broadcast professional, and for me, the payoff is, hey, we got a lot of listeners. People are really enjoying what I'm doing. And, since I'm not doing this for money, which I could make a lot of money. If I got 1 million people watching this show every day, I would make a fortune from YouTube. Just a fortune, okay? But I'm not doing that, okay? So I make a couple $100 a year off of this. But I don't do this for the money. I do it because I like it and because it's fun, because it still keeps me active. It still keeps me annoying people, which I love to do. But, how do you get out there? How do you break through the noise? And I as the person who, and I'm going to lay claim to this, and I will claim it till the day I die. And I never claim things that I can't back up, okay? I've got a little program here that was made by a guy back in 1998, I think it was, called Auto Alex, okay? And how it came about was that I didn't have a job. I got fired from the radio station, and I wanted my audience to be able to hear from me every day. So they knew I had a website, and I was one of the first early adopters to have a website, okay? I have one that goes all the way back to like 1993 or something like that. It was called The Surfing Monkey. I did this, I just did a little audio thing. I mean, sometimes I'd interview somebody, sometimes I just talk like I'm talking now, and maybe I play a little music, because in those days you didn't have to pay your rights and things like that. Nobody was paying attention. And it was about 20 minutes to 30 minutes long each day. And then people could I put it up on my site, and then they could just click on it or download it from there and listen to it. Well, that is in and of itself a podcast, an early version of a podcast. I don't know if I'm the first guy that ever sat there and talked for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and you could then go to the site and listen to it, but I was the first one that did the following. Guy comes to me, guy had been a fan of mine. He says, I got a program I just wrote for you. I said, what is this? It's called Auto Alex. And by the way, I have a copy of it here. If anybody wants me to prove this, and I think it has a timestamp on it somewhere. Anyway, he said to me, here's what you do. You put this up on your site. They download it from your site. It gets put on their computer. All right? Then what happens is, every day, their machine will go to your site to see if there's a new episode. If it detects a new episode, it automatically downloads it for them so that when they come home, waiting on their desktop is your show. I went, cool, let's do it. And we did it. What does that sound like to you? Okay? I probably should have sued Apple a long time ago for the podcast concept. Because really what we were doing there was the first podcast. It was the first automatic delivery system to you to be able to listen to me. And I will take claim for having invented, basically, the automatically delivered podcast. I and this other guy who was the techie who came up with this brilliant scheme. So anyway, as the guy who created the podcast, to be in a position where I'm going, how do I get listeners, really is very frustrating to me. Very frustrating. And, it continues to vex me constantly. And if anybody has any ideas, throw them my way. But right now, there are only 2 people waiting to talk to me. So let me click on the admit all, which will do that. And let's see here. Here they come. We just got, actually only have one, which is Alan. Hello, Alan. How are you?
Hello. You got 44 listeners to your ramble when you were rambling by yourself just now.
Well, maybe I found a new way of doing this show. Huh?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You're talking and the numbers are going up.
Yeah, here comes Charlie Wallace. And that's it. That's our entire panel for tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, good night.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, what's doing, guys?
Oh, I got my shingles vaccine today.
Oh, really?
It hurts a lot more than the COVID shot.
Pussy.
Did you get a double shingle shot?
I have to wait 2 months to get the second one.
Oh, I see. So you got a single shingle shot.
Yep. That's what tomorrow. It was.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
No, I can't even say it once.
Yeah, a single shingle shot. Do-da. Yeah. Anyway, so what was that? Did somebody do something? Let's see here. Oh well, here comes Tony Magno. I never thought it would be a blessing to see him come on, but here he is. We have Tony Magno.
Hey, Tony's posting a lot of Spike Lee stuff today.
Yeah, I was listening. How does he get $1 million fucking dollars? That steroid head.
What?
Joe Rogan. Give me a fucking.
Oh, break. Joe Rogan. Oh yeah.
I heard you say $1 million.
They bought his show for I don't know how long for $1 million. But it's something that Spotify is going to come home to haunt them. They're already having problems with it because
but you know what
because
he
of
does?
his anti-vax. Huh?
You know what he does, Alex? I listened a few times because I'm gonna be honest. I enjoy the old Art Bell show, Coast to Coast. Mm-hmm. Because I like all that crazy conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
What I always hated about Art Bell is somebody would come on, and he would go. They would go. Aliens took me up on their spaceship and they probed my ass. And rather than sit there and question the validity of this guy, he would go, "Oh, tell me more. Really, that happened to you?" He would never challenge these people, and I'm going. Come on, Art. You're not
about the night shadow.
I know you're living in Pahrump, and nobody wants to go to Pahrump, and you've lost contact with the world, but you still know what sanity is and what insanity isn't, and you're talking to crazy people.
I always was going to ask you. I always used to listen to the show late at night in the bed, and I'm like, I was going to ask you this once. Is that like a script like old shoes? I wonder, is that set up, you think?
No. Oh, no.
It-
No.
So that's real then.
You know, you could set it up to start the whole thing going, let's say.
I was going to ask you that one time. I was
But
like,
after a
real? I was
while,
trying to figure it out. I'm like,
after
yeah.
a while, it's self-perpetuating because every
Okay.
asshole,
So you could probably tell if it's fake.
every asshole who wants his 15 minutes of fame is going to go on Art Bell and say he got anal probed by an alien.
When they used to have the night people, night shadows, or I forgot what he called them, lizard men. And that's like, oh god. When you, I used to like laugh at it. Though.
No, I'll tell
But
you,
I find them interesting.
a couple of times I was driving from Sacramento late at night, or from actually Nevada late at night, and I put a show on. One of the reasons he was so popular is you have a thing on radio that's called a night signal, in which signals skip, and so something that you can't pick up during the day,
really?
you can pick up at night because there's it skips off the atmosphere, and it's called So anyway,
He had a good voice too at night.
you could get his show on 5 different channels as you were driving. So if one faded out, you just went to another. And I listened to him for 5 hours one night as I was driving back to San Francisco, and I went, well, you know, it's nuts, it's crazy. The intellectual self says this is the stupidest show I've ever listened to.
I like it, though, yeah.
But the person craving entertainment at 1 o'clock in the morning, driving down a ribbon of highway.
I used to fall asleep to him. Oh my god! He used to put me to sleep. Then I used to wake up at 3 and hear his voice on again. As he another crazy call.
That appealed to me, you know. So I have to admit that he had a good thing going, and then he went crazy. Something happened to him, and he went off the air. Some threat to his child or something like that, and so he went off. And then he came back later on, but he wasn't as popular as when he went off. So.
Now George Norrie took over. I listened to him.
George Norrie, yeah.
I'm surprised you know where Pahrumph's at.
Oh, I know where Pahrump is at.
Outside of Las Vegas?
Yeah. I know where Pahrump is because when I was a kid growing up, there was a guy by the name of Red Blanchard, had a radio show in San Francisco on KCBS. And he was a very popular star with the kids. In fact, so popular, Life magazine, I think, put him on the cover of Life magazine.
Wow.
And he used to use funny terms and words and stuff like that. One of his funny words was this town, Pahrump, Nevada. You know, so I always knew where Pahrump was. Let's see your whole face, Tony. Look at how your face is. See now.
There you go.
Look at the face.
I got a shave for my mother from the grave, Alex. She's gonna kill me. I got a haircut. I got to do the half of it.
What do you mean a haircut from the grave?
Well, it's Mother's Day this week, and my hair was bushy.
What are you gonna do What are you gonna do for Mother's Day?
Actually, I'm gonna probably put some flowers down at the cemetery. Nothing crazy though. I'm joking.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of odd though. It's strange. And I was getting a haircut because it was getting really messy. So I went to get a haircut. It felt nice.
You want my hint though? If you're gonna buy the flowers, buy them like at at the grocery store. Don't wait till you get out there and buy them from the place closest to the cemetery.
No, we don't. Yeah, you know what I usually do? I can grab them from my garden in the back if I really want to be cheap, because I have nice tulips.
Listen, your mother's dead. You can be cheap. Okay?
I know, and she always used to say she never wanted to go across the street from the cemetery because she was always price gouging. You're right about that. We never did that.
Yeah.
Because there's a cemetery right across the street, but the guy charges you like crazy.
Yeah. Are you going to visit my grave when I go?
I'd probably take them right out there if I'm out seeing a giant.
Out there? But I'm telling you right now.
Where you go? You got a plot?
She's already claiming my ashes. Okay, she wants.
Oh, you're going to be sprinkled somewhere.
No, she wants to turn me into crispy critter. Yeah.
You're going to be a critter.
So she better go first. Okay, and then I'll figure out what I want to have done with my body. I think probably just put me in bed and just lie me there and keep me there for a couple of years. Nobody will know I was dead. You know.
Well, my father. It's funny you said that. The other night he must have been on my mind because I went to sleep and I was dreaming and I woke up. He was cooking in the kitchen and he was laughing, and then I woke up and I said, it was kind of, it was a nice dream because he was making something, and I'm like, I guess he's not mad that she's there with him. Hopefully, I told my brothers I dreamed of daddy. He says, you think he's mad? He says, well, she was always breaking his balls, Alex. They were the polar opposites. I think that's why they lasted so long.
I had a mother and father. Well, my mother's still alive. I had a mother and father like that. My mother was water. My father was dirt. Together,
I mean, they
made
were like,
mud.
I don't even know how they got together. They were like totally different.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's not unusual.
No?
I mean, my mother and my father, I think, were in many ways totally different from each other. But my mother adored my father.
You said that.
Although
right?
when after he died, I said
She was like that. My mother, everything was
I
there.
really love my father. Okay, mother, not so much. Right? A shrink got at least half a visit.
I like
on
the
that
shrink
one.
story. She got a lot of money out of you.
Huh? He.
He. You were good to go for a couple of checks.
Oh, you think I'm going to go to a female shrink who's going to tell me when I'm complaining about an ex-girlfriend leaving me that I would? She just go, well, you were so wrong. You should have treated her better. That's what you get out of a female.
You're right. I didn't think of that. She really be charging.
What are you saying, Scott?
How much do you make again?
Wait, Scott was nodding on that one.
She wouldn't think that. She'd be professional.
Do you think so?
I've been to lots of female shrinks.
Yeah. Well, how professional is it when they charge you for an hour and only give you 50 minutes?
Yeah.
Kinda like
that's
this
for
show.
starters. That's for
Kinda like
starters.
this show.
And
They
that
charge
and
you
the
for
other
an hour
part
and
is
they'll-
they never show you an escape route out of psychiatry. And once you start going to them, they look upon you as an annuity. He'll be here every week. He will have the $150 in his hand, or maybe it's a $200 now or $250. He'll have it in his hand. I'll make my money. He'll leave. And we won't solve the problems. We'll just talk about them. And he'll come back next week and make me another bunch of money. That's all they do.
That's an easy job.
And then they sit there with their little pad going, tell me more.
I can do that.
And I want to know what he's writing on the goddamn pad. He's probably drawing pictures of little flowers and kitties, So, I don't know.
So Tony, you got your hair cut.
Yeah,
The camera's good. I don't complain normally, but you got some hair sticking up in the air like an antenna.
You want to see something with me? You want to see something with me?
I only had like $25 on me. He wanted to give me $40, Alex.
Let me show you something with me that I never show because you never see the back. But for some reason, this haircut Marjorie gives me is perfect. But a couple of weeks later, see this going out here?
Oh, it's coming in the back. It's growing. It's growing.
What is that? Am I growing horns? What is that?
Stopheles is coming out.
You should let
I have
that
the
grow
same
long.
thing. Look, I got hair in the back too.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it's normal.
What?
Alex, you should let that grow in the back.
What? Why?
Alex, because it looks cool.
What, that thing that makes me that flares out like that?
You can dye it black and you look like you were 40 years ago on TV.
I see. Yeah, sure. It's that easy, right?
No, it isn't.
Hey, Alex, I got a question.
Yeah.
Did you work in New York during the Son of Sam thing?
Yeah, I think I was here during Son of Sam. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there's a really
when was Son of Sam? What year?
Like 77.
Oh, 77? Yeah, I came here in 69, I think. So yeah, I was here during Son of Sam.
Yeah, there's a really good documentary on Netflix about the Son of Sam.
Mm-hmm.
No spoilers. I haven't watched it yet.
It's really good, but I'll tell you one thing. You know,
a bunch of people die at the end.
Yeah, but
It was creepy. I saw the first two parts.
They were showing the, those the police sketches of the suspects.
They were all different.
Yeah, but you know what? One of them is exactly Trump. I said, look, watch it. It's fucking Trump.
I thought you were going to say it looked like me.
I was going to say, yeah.
So did I.
I think Trump is the Son of Sam was trending on Twitter.
Trump's not
I
allowed.
swear to God, watch the movie. It looks exactly like him.
Really?
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll watch it. I saw it listed, and then I haven't. Then I went back to find it, and it wasn't there.
Oh, really?
So I
Yeah,
got,
it's
you know,
really
the
good.
trouble with Netflix is that whole site is so hard to negotiate.
Yeah, because it kind of bounces. Like
Yeah,
it's
I mean, and
confusing.
if you want to see something you want, and then later on you go looking for it, it's not there. You got to do a search, and then the search sometimes doesn't find it. I mean, I give up. You know, it's too difficult. And worse than that, you know the worst one?
What's
HBO Max.
my brother's got that.
It's the worst, and I'll tell you why it's the worst. They go, okay, here's Bill Maher's show. Bill Maher's new show, new episode, right? And you go and you click on it, and it plays an episode from 3 years ago.
Oh.
Now, this has been going on for a month. You would think somebody at HBO Max has figured this one out, or somebody has complained, but nobody has. And then it does it with other shows. Does John Oliver? I want you this week with John Oliver. Here's this week's episode, new episode. It says you click on it. It's an episode from like a half a year ago.
Yeah.
And you go, doesn't somebody tell them they're making a major mistake? Oh, and here's the other one. There's another company, Epics.
Oh, I kind of watch some rock documentaries.
Yeah, Epics. Yeah. You go to Epics, you watch a show like I'm watching The Godfather of Harlem, and I'm watching another show there which I can't remember right now, Condor, and I go, okay, well, wait a minute, Marjorie has to go to the bathroom. I'll put it on pause. Okay, she comes back, and the dialogue is all out of sync.
Yeah.
I have to stop it and come back into it. I can't just put it on pause. No. So here's another mistake that another company has yet to find out about. What happens? Nobody tells them? And if I tell them, they'll probably think I'm an idiot because nobody else is complaining. You know.
I don't know. I found Amazon Prime to be the best.
Amazon Prime, yeah, but they got a lot of
with my Prime membership.
They got a lot of crap there, though. You know. By the way, did you hear about Jeff Bezos?
What happened now? I know he retired.
What's happened now? What? You think something horrible happened because I said, did you hear about Jeff Bezos?
I love Amazon. God bless him.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, here's the thing. They got this deal where both his company, which is Blue Horizon, I think it's called, or Blue something or another, and the SpaceX have been vying for the right to have the contract to go to the moon. So they gave it to SpaceX. Well, what do you know? Bezos is going to the Solicitor General and complaining that they erroneously gave them the deal. Now, Bezos hardly even has a rocket ship yet, you know, where SpaceX is taking stuff up to the space station and they're bringing the vehicles back and they're landing here and they've got a full program going on. And so he's complaining about the fact that he can't I want to take people to the moon too, you know.
Well, you don't got a rocket ship.
No, but I'm saying, well, he has one. I mean, I saw a picture of it. I think it's crashed. It finally came back without crashing. That's the latest on that one. Meanwhile, here goes SpaceX. Boom, up in the air. Boom, another one up in the air. A bigger one, a giant one. They both. Oh, you want to come back? Oh, well, we don't really have to have you ditch in the water. We can just land the rocket back down here on a platform. What? Oh, and how about you, Bezos? Well, we can get it to you overnight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The next day.
Oh, boy. You know.
He's got so much.
Yeah, so. And then...
yeah, the documentary is very good. I was going to tell you, one of the... my mom's old friend, Lois, we still stay in touch with her. Mm-hmm. If you watch the documentary, the detective Bill Clark, that was his actual... my Lois's husband, John, who I know, that was his detective, Alex. He worked undercover with him in the 70s. He worked that case.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I would try to get him to call the show, but he's not computer literate that much. He'd have great cop stories because he worked the case with Bill. Yeah. It was crazy back then. It had everybody on it. He was on the documentary, the guy Bill Clark.
Well, what's his name? Still alive, isn't he?
So, yeah, he's 67 only.
Really?
I thought he was older than that.
I wonder if in prison he goes like, I was Son of Sam. Me.
I mean, they tried to slit his throat in prison.
Did they really?
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Who are you talking about?
Berkowitz.
Berkowitz.
Yeah.
He never stood trial.
Well, he pleaded guilty.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Because the reason why he pleaded guilty was because the rumor is what this documentary is saying is that he was involved in this satanic cult, and he knew if he was out on the streets, they were going to kill him.
Well, he was never going to get out. I mean, you know what was weird is that the composites. And I asked John this when he used to come over. I says he used to talk about cases. The composites were all different, and that's the one thing. The one guy of the composite when you watch it, Alex, looked like that one guy, John, who was right in his area. So, and even that last victim who lived, the Italian guy, he said that somebody was parked behind the car, and he told the cops that is not the guy who did the last shooting.
Well, you know, the other case that's coming up now, who was the guy who supposedly killed his wife, who was pregnant and dumped her in the bay, Alan? Scott Peterson.
Yeah.
They're trying to get him a new trial.
Really?
They say that he didn't do it.
Really?
And who's leading the charge on it is his sister-in-law, who says that he didn't do it.
Oh, wow.
And
sister of the wife that he murdered?
The sister of the wife he murdered, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
His wife and the baby.
Yeah. Well, they say that he was not there at the time, that all the timelines were wrong.
I don't know. The forensic scuba divers seemed to find things underwater that was fairly close to Richmond and fairly close in time.
All they found were the bodies. That's all they found. And
but you don't. But
and they claim why did they? They say he killed him at the house. There's something I don't have all the information, so you'll have to look it up. But the sister-in-law claims that the police said that he was there, blah 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 blah, and then at a certain time frame when it was. There's absolute proof, she says, that he wasn't there during that time frame.
Was he fucking her or something? What?
No, it might have been.
Really? What's the proof?
He might have been. He could have been fucking her. Yeah, but I mean, she says that there is no way he could have done it. But there were people in the neighborhood who were robbing homes.
We keep talking about criminals. We're almost up to 50 viewers.
Well, once we hit the 50, what do I need you guys for?
That's right.
Well, Alex, I was looking up top-rated podcasts.
Yeah.
And most of them are murder mysteries or true crimes and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So at least about 6 of the top 12 or so. Yeah.
Listen, I have a piece of information, okay, that I've been sitting on for 30 years, 35 years. I'm not going to reveal it here, so don't start jerking off. About the Tate LaBianca murders, that would change the whole tone of the thing, and it's information that I have known and that I have had corroborated on 2 occasions.
They have pretty good proof of the people that were involved in it were the people that did it.
Yes, but there's a motive they don't say.
Was it a drug deal?
Are the guys a nut job?
No.
Is that the motive?
Nope.
I bought that new guy's book on it. Who wrote
it doesn't matter.
Maybe
the guy's dead.
I got this piece of information.
Oh wait, Alex, were they going there because they thought?
Well, I got this piece of information from my friend Michael O'Donoghue, who's now dead, who was a writer for SNL, and of course was with the National Lampoon. You knew him on SNL as Mr. Mike, and he told me something that a girlfriend he had told him, and she was out in California as a reporter on the case, and a piece of information of something that she saw and that was revealed to the press by the cops because they were trying to get some money for this information, okay? And I heard about this story. And so a couple of years later, Ed Sanders, who was with a group called the Fugs, he was also a poet and a writer, wrote a book called The Family. Was it The Family? Was that the title of the book? Yeah. About a group called The Process.
Yep.
That's a cult.
Yeah. And
that's in the Son of Sam movie.
Tries to link.
He discussed the whole thing with me, and after the show was over, I said, "Well, you know what I heard?"
What?
And I told him what I had heard, which I am not going to reveal here.
I wouldn't say it. Yeah.
God forbid.
And
Yeah.
he said, how'd you get that information? I said, I got it from Michael O'Donoghue, and he had a girlfriend, and she was out reporting on the thing. He says, well, you got the right information. He said, I have that information too. I said, so why isn't it in the book? And he said, there are people who will kill anybody
Holy shit.
who reveals the truth of the Manson murders.
Why does it matter right now? Charles Manson's dead.
Well, it involves very wealthy people.
They definitely got money.
And some of which are still alive.
Somebody didn't like shopping at the La Bianca supermarket?
No, I'm not going to go any further than that. The La Bianca murders were a cover murder. They were not the reason for the Tate murders. The reason they did the La Bianca murders is because Tex Watson got arrested for the Manson, and they wanted to prove that he didn't do it by causing a crime very similar to it somewhere else. So they just picked the La Bianca home in order to do a crime in which they could say, see, he was in jail and this happened. He didn't do the Manson thing, or the Tate murders. So that's the reason why the La Bianca happened. Otherwise, the La Biancas would still be alive, or would have lived through it. But there is a piece of information that I've had and held on to for years, and I've been trying to figure out if I want to ever reveal this information.
Who?
In a podcast.
That would be a good place.
And tell the story, the true story of at least so far as I know, because I've had it corroborated. Okay, I had it fed to me by Michael O'Donoghue and then corroborated by Ed Sanders, who certainly was one of the most learned people about the Tate murders because he wrote one of the definitive books on the subject.
Yeah, I bought this guy's book too.
How involved?
I didn't read it yet.
Yeah. What?
This guy was on Tom O'Neill. Is it a journalist? I didn't read it yet. He kind of delves into it, but he's taking it, saying it what the CIA was
in all these books and all these documentaries. The fact, as I know it, has never been revealed.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I would keep it a secret. I'd be scared, Alex.
And it is the motive for the murder.
Holy moly!
Yeah. But anyway,
and you got two people corroborating it. I bet you there's got to be some truth to that.
I believe it. I mean, he told me. He said I would never mention that. He said to anyone.
And it never made
this was 35 years ago. He said I'd never mention that to anyone because it has been said that if anybody reveals that information, they're dead. They'll be killed.
Yeah, but the person that's going to do the killing died 20 years ago.
Well, you may be wrong, right? You may be wrong, but until I know I only have a few years left on this planet, and until I get some kind of a death sentence from a doctor, I'm not going to reveal it. Then I'll reveal it.
Okay.
And it will suddenly, the whole crime pops into view. You then understand the crime and why it took place.
I understand the crime. He was a nut job.
Well, do you think going to the Tate? Do you think going to the Tate house was a random act?
No way. They were planning going there.
No.
Yeah, they were sent there by Charlie for a good reason.
Okay. Because Charlie was a nut job.
And it had nothing to do with Sharon Tate, by the way.
I always thought he was obsessed with. They were saying he was obsessed with the Beach Boy guy.
Well, no,
the music guy, the producer. What was his name?
You're talking about well, not Brian Wilson, but you're talking about the brother.
Who was the man? No, who was the studio guy who produced the Birdsocks? I forgot his name.
Oh, well, that was Doris Day's son.
Yes,
Terry Melcher. Yeah,
Melcher. Yeah,
Melcher was supposed to produce an album with him.
And he said he was no good.
Because what's his name? Not Brian Wilson, but who is the drumming
Dennis
brother?
Wilson.
Dennis Wilson.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Had Manson living at his home.
I couldn't believe that when I read that. I was like, holy
And
moly.
in fact, it's at a certain point moved out of his home so he could get not have to put up with Manson, and then got somebody to go in there and get Manson the hell out of there. But in the meantime, Wilson had taken him over to Terry Melcher.
Yes.
To try and get him a contract. And as a matter of fact, if you go to which Beach Boys album was it? There was a Beach Boys album, and
they covered one of his tunes.
Well, no, they covered it. They did his tune. The credit is Charles Manson. It's called oh God, I can't even remember what the name was of the song, but it's on one of the Beach Boys albums.
Oh, you have a secret. That's good. Can you tell us on the show where Jimmy Hoff is buried?
Not really.
Oh, you probably know that too.
I would say he's mulch.
disclose
Wherever
that on
he
your
is, he's
deathbed.
now mulch. Okay.
I think
thought
he
he
was
was in
part
Giant
of a
Stadium.
foundation.
Oh, that's what's his name, the mobster.
Yeah. So Jeff, do you have any secrets?
No.
No. Okay.
He tells him on the show. He says he was a car thief,
And by the way, nobody calls this show anymore. Remember when we used to get like 12 people?
Yeah.
The only time that happens now is on the Monday afternoon show, But anyway, so what do I do for a podcast? That will be my big final podcast. That will be the one.
I'm just thinking about what it could be. I mean, that would have me thinking. I'm agreeing with you. I'd be scared to say anything.
It's very.
New Yorkers are afraid of everything.
Oh, no way. I wouldn't say it.
It's a very simple motive. That's the reason
I
I'm
believe
amazed.
you, Alex.
Well, that's the reason I'm
very
amazed that it hasn't come out.
I'm trying to think what could be the
So you get back to Scott Peterson. You believe that he didn't kill his wife,
I'm not saying I believe he did or he didn't, but according to this sister-in-law, he didn't. The time frame is all wrong. He couldn't have been there to kill her, and that she is going back to court they're going back to court to ask for either a new trial or a new hearing on the new evidence.
It's been in the news on and off, back page news.
Yeah, well, he did get the death sentence after all, but they haven't executed anybody in San Quentin in years, so I doubt if he's going to be executed anytime soon. And this,
well, your buddy Phil was involved with that case.
Was he?
Yep. He had to go I think he went diving where the baby was found. He didn't find the baby, but where it was, so they had the GPS coordinates where it was at. So
yeah, okay. Well, here we'll do a whole
forensic diver. So.
I can't see Phil. It's like I saw that. I was watching the show with him the other day with you. That picture of the boat. He's the only happy cop I would see. It's like, I can't see him as a cop, Alex. Can you?
I can't see him as a scuba diver.
You're right.
I don't want to see him as a scuba diver.
The good thing is he's watching the show right now.
Yeah, but the one thing about him is maybe a good scuba diver.
Yeah.
A lot of buoyancy there.
Oh,
a lot of buoyancy.
Man.
Oh. Working up an appetite, Anthony. I'm gonna go. I just can't see him as a cop.
What? Really?
Why?
I don't know. He just doesn't seem like a cop type. Well,
Phil doesn't seem like a cop type.
That is stupid. I just said that.
Well, he wasn't
guns.
He wasn't really a
cop. What a cop type is.
Yeah, but he wasn't really a cop. He was kind of like a rent-a-cop. I mean
No, he wasn't.
Well, he was a volunteer, right?
Yeah, a volunteer, a reserve officer.
Oh, okay.
He was a real cop.
He's a real cop. I mean, he could have put cuffs on me and taken me to jail.
He did detective work. He did real police work every time he was on.
So what happened? Why isn't he doing it anymore?
Well, he's a little too old.
Oh, really? Is that it?
I don't know.
He's out of shape?
He put in
listen, when you're talking about out of shape and you're using the word cop, those are terms that are synonymous,
They really should be in better shape, I have to say that. I'm surprised each year, I don't mean it in a bad sense, I'm surprised each year they don't have to hit a certain requirement.
You want to see cops that are in shape and stuff? Go to LA.
Well, close to being in. I mean, some of them are just.
Wait, hold on a second. Go to LA.
I think it's dangerous for them to do their job.
You say go to LA?
Yeah, LA has high standards.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, when I was in New York,
think though, because it's physical work.
Yeah, because down there to join the police department, you have to have an 8x10 glossy of yourself.
This is what I look like now, and what happened here.
So, anybody have any new feelings on Liz Cheney and what's going on with her?
She's going to lose her job.
You know
We got primary here too.
The lady that's going to replace her. What's her name? Elise Stefanik.
Yeah.
Whatever. all I got to say, Tracy Flick. Remember the movie?
Yeah.
That's her.
Election.
She's not stupid. She's very smart.
No, but she's kissing Trump's ass.
Yeah. She was totally, she was totally against Trump in the beginning when she got elected, and soon as she got in and she saw who had the power, she just knows where the power is.
The only thing that Liz Cheney is guilty of is calling out Trump for what he did. And this is all stuff we have proof of and so on and so forth. And she's simply saying, look, I'm a conservative. I'm as conservative as you can get. And that's one of the reasons I'm making a case out of this, is because as a conservative, this is appalling to me that he should have done this. And the Republicans, I don't know why the Republicans want to just, excuse his behavior. So I don't know.
They excused his lying the whole 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, forget about
like 30,000 lies during his administration.
Okay, but forget all those lies for a second. We know the guy's a lying sack of shit. We know that. Okay, that he never, if he ever told the truth, he wouldn't know it. All right. And it's been the way he's done business all his life. I mean, you have to realize Roy Cohn, who was his mentor, taught him that you never admit you're wrong, and you never admit you did anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
You just stand your ground. If you stand your ground long enough, you'll come out on top. Also, never pay your bills. That's another one that Roy Cohn told me. Never pay your bills.
People line up to work for him for nothing.
I can't believe the banks just hand him money.
Huh?
The banks just give him loans. Like I was talking
Well,
to
they're not.
Shane.
Believe me, there's no loan in the world he could get right now.
That's
I
right.
bet you he's getting his money from overseas, Russia. If you really got to see his taxes,
I would say you're probably right.
Yeah, he probably hadn't gotten a loan.
That's why nobody can see it, because all those loans are probably floating from overseas.
Yeah, I mean, he perhaps is the most corrupt president we've ever had.
Easily.
Yeah. And you could say that some presidents approach corruption, but they had more respect for the job than that.
You think he was worse than Nixon, Alec? Nixon then?
Way worse.
Oh, definitely worse.
Well, my old joke has been, Trump's horrible, so actually, Bush doesn't look that bad. In fact, Daddy Bush doesn't look that bad. In fact, Ronald Reagan doesn't look that bad. In fact, Nixon doesn't look that bad. Come to think of it, Hitler doesn't look that bad. I mean...
the truth comes out.
Yeah.
On the Alex Bennett show.
I don't care how corrupt Nixon was. At least he wasn't trying to sell out to the Russians.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they had something on him, and did somebody say last night they have the Steele Dossier 2 is coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And this one is the illustrated version?
Oh, yeah.
The rumor is that they have the PP tape in it.
Well,
Really?
it's got to have the PP
They had the
tapes.
what in it?
The PP
Tape
tapes.
of the hookers peeing on
Oh, okay.
Well, no, he supposedly had the hookers pee on the bed that Obama slept in.
Yeah.
And then he took a picture of it or something. Yeah. Yeah, he really hated Obama. Just hated Obama. And you know what he hated him for? Because Obama made fun of him at the correspondence dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could do a Back to the Future, I would go back to that day, whisper in Obama's ear, do not say anything bad about Donald Trump. Because it came back to haunt all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All Obama's fault. Blame the black guy.
They say that's, yeah.
Couldn't be late.
It's the Negro every time. I mean, but Obama, a lot of people say that was the night that he decided he was going to run for president.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, he never smiled once during that correspondence.
Yeah, he has no sense of humor, you can see.
No.
He just...
I like when he gets up to speak. Of any of the presidents, he is the most educated speaker in a long time. When Obama gets up to speak.
Oh, I thought you meant Trump.
No.
Boy, I was gonna give a big
Biden, not Biden. Obama. I'm sorry.
Obama.
Yeah, Obama.
Yeah.
He can talk. He got a good grip of the English language.
Oh no, he's smart. He's terrific.
He is.
And
one of my favorite presidents.
yeah, I'll tell you. I have a favorite former president, which is Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I like Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
I thought he was a weak president.
What?
I thought he was a weak president.
He was a weak president, but he was a great ex-president. He did good stuff after he was no longer president.
Afterwards,
I agree with you.
You know?
He's a great humanitarian after the presidency.
Yeah. Speaking of humanitarians, I wonder how effective the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is going to be now.
I love rumors. They say that Melinda is going to go be Donald Trump's new wife.
Oh, I say, okay.
Oh.
It was in some stupid newscast. I thought that's got to be the
What? Somebody actually said that?
Yeah.
He living in front of Trump?
Apparently, you know what it looks like? It looks as though Bill did something that pissed off everybody in the family.
Really?
Because about 2 months ago, they had a getaway to a private island. It's an island you can rent. Okay.
But he owns it.
No, he doesn't own it. They rented it, and
doesn't he own Hawaii or something like that?
No. What happened was the wife, Melinda Gates, took the kids and all their friends and all the family who wanted to have a little vacation out to this island, which is out in the middle of nowhere. And they stay there for about a week. It's about how much is it? $250,000 a day to rent this island. Okay.
We stayed at the red carpet in Florida for like 50
years. And the only person not invited was Bill. And the rumor is the reason Bill wasn't invited is the kids don't want to even talk to him.
I wonder what happened.
There's something that went on that Bill did that was the nail in the coffin here.
I wonder what it was.
Huh?
Oh.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I'd like to say maybe he took a lover or something, but have you seen him? I mean,
he gets more media time than Donald Trump when it comes to positive things about COVID.
Well, I mean, he's been terrific in the aftermath.
Absolutely.
That's why I hate to see the two of them break up, because together they were very effective in all these things that they paid attention to.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand why the whole thing happened, but it happened, and
I don't think we'll ever know.
Well, maybe we will, and maybe we won't. You know,
Alex will find out and tell us right before he dies.
Yeah.
There we go. And you got a lot to tell.
Well, Bill ran away with one of the Manson family, and
Squeaky from.
Squeaky.
Come on, I'll educate you.
Squeaky's
like
still
a nut. You almost killed Ford. That's good enough for me.
Maybe Bill Gates is in love with Tex.
Streets.
Squeaky's still in prison, isn't she?
Is she? I mean,
yeah.
I can't believe she almost killed Ford, didn't she? I mean, how do you get that close?
Well, she was my favorite Manson family girl, because how can you hate a little girl named Squeaky?
You would think, like, she can't hurt anybody. She pulls out a gun. The 70s were crazy, I'm telling you.
She fired a gun at Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like 2 weeks later, somebody else fired a gun at him.
It's too bad she missed.
Well, no. What was wrong with Ford? I mean, Ford was just a doofus, you know?
Not enough to kill him, though.
What's the trivia about Ford?
What is it?
The trivia about Ford. The great piece of trivia.
What is it?
The only president never to be elected to the position.
Oh.
He was never elected vice president. He was appointed vice president.
Yeah.
And he was the only president ever to take the job and never to have been elected to the position. So,
sort of like Donald Trump.
So who was the only woman to win an Academy Award for playing a man?
Was that what's her name who did the?
Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank.
No, she didn't get the Academy Award.
She didn't. Okay, for playing a man.
What about
Julie Andrews? Was it?
No.
No. I know what you're thinking of.
Oh.
Huh?
NPR. No, not NPR. NPR. It was. I'll tell you, it was Linda Hunt.
No, Linda Hunt won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. I thought you meant Best Actress.
Well, it was Academy Award for playing a man, though.
Okay.
That's right.
But,
In for the year of living.
well, wait.
Dangerously.
Yeah, Year of Living Dangerously, and I would have told you that if you said Best Supporting Actress.
Oh,
But,
sorry.
but you said
It's
won an
okay,
Academy Award, and you generally think,
Yeah, yeah.
Not necessarily.
Let me see here. Is there any other Academy Award trivia? No, that's about it.
Are people getting back on the street, John?
Huh?
Are people in San Francisco getting back out on the streets?
Yeah, yeah. There's the thing.
Well, that's good because I think I'm going to visit San Francisco tomorrow for the first time in a year.
They have a very low infection rate. In fact, they're almost at herd immunity.
Yeah.
That's correct. That's
So,
correct.
Yes, Jeff.
Positivity rate
Jeff,
is
shut
below
up. Jeff's
0.5%.
going to speak.
This is what you were asking me the other day, and now I have the answer.
What?
That Connecticut currently has got the best number of COVID people who've had the shots.
Really?
And we're actually at 50% of the people in Connecticut.
Really have had at least their first shot, right?
So you're not. San Francisco's at 72. So sorry.
For the first shot, not for both shots.
San Francisco.
Yeah, but
at
San
least-
Francisco's a city, not a state.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but they're close to herd immunity.
Well, but there's only what 1 million people in Connecticut.
What do you mean?
Most of them are retired.
Ah, that's why.
But no,
Then Connecticut must be one of those states where where the positivity rate's real low too, like California.
I think the reason why San Francisco, the rate is so down is everything closed up. There's nothing open in San Francisco. It's just,
we're down to here in New York. We were down to 23 deaths yesterday.
Wow.
And the infection rate has gone down precipitously. Here in Manhattan, we have the lowest infection rate in the entire state, and it was something like 0.9 yesterday. I don't know what it was, or
That's
day
pretty
before
good.
yesterday. Yeah.
Probably the biggest city in the state too, isn't it?
Yeah, but the rest of the boroughs are in the twos somewhere. So we're very well here. I mean, chances of me, if I walk down the street with a mask on and tongue kiss everybody, chances of me getting COVID are very low.
Remind me.
Getting arrested is a little higher, however.
Yeah. Remind me not to be on that street at that.
Did you get your shot yet, Scott?
Got 'em both.
Yeah. You know what kind of pisses me off? You remember
Charlie getting the shingles shot? I got it about 2 months ago, and it stings like a bitch.
Yeah.
And I got my next one coming up next Thursday for my follow up.
You know
the
what?
next
You know
one's
what?
a doozy.
You know what I got on Monday? I've got arthritis here. So they're going to shoot me up with a
both
steroid in that joint, and that's painful. That's a really painful shot.
Time for a cortisone shot.
Well, that's it. Cortisone. That's what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had it done to me once before, around in there, and for years, it didn't bother me. I mean, it really works, but it stings like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it does. Only for a minute or so.
Yeah.
And the cortisone goes.
What do you mean, no, Scott?
Not the shingle
Oh,
shot.
not the shingle shot.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a single shingle shot? By the way, while we're at it, do you know what kind of noise annoys an oyster? A noisy noise annoys an oyster. Thank you.
Oh, I don't think they're doing
That goes
the
along with
single-
my single shingle shot.
I don't think they're doing the single shingle shot anymore. I think they're using the name of the double shot. It's called Singrex.
Yeah.
And so I had both, and I got my second one 2 months before the COVID shot came out. And I'll tell you, Charlie, everybody that I know that's got the second one, you want to take the next day off.
Really? I
That's
got
what they
both.
told me about COVID.
I got both
I
shingle
had no
shots.
problem with it.
I had no
Wait a
problem
minute.
with COVID.
I had both shingle shots. I don't remember having any problem with them.
Well, you think you know who killed the La Biancas?
No, not the La Biancas.
I know, I'm kidding. You complain a lot that you have lost your memory, and I think your memory is sharp.
Oh, really?
Maybe short term. I mean, as we all get into our 60s and stuff,
Right.
my short term memory
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Bill.
But your long-term memory, I think you're like an encyclopedia. I mean, you just have tons of information in there.
Yeah, it's selective information, though. Sometimes there's something so obvious I can't remember it, you know?
That happens to all of us.
Like tonight we were trying to come up with a name, and now I can't even remember what the name was we were trying to come up with. But I had to look it up, and it was ridiculous because it was something I should have known, you know?
So, John, do you live on your street, on Larkin Street?
No.
No, he doesn't.
Somebody told me you live in the Tenderloin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leavenworth. I do, on Leavenworth and Turk.
Yeah. It's a pretty good neighborhood now, though, isn't it? It used to be a horrible... No? Oh, it's still a horrible neighborhood.
Leavenworth and Turk?
Oh,
you got to buy a bulletproof vest at the 7-Eleven to go through there.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I got to get out of here. I'm so lazy. But I'm
Where you
only
gonna
paying, I'm only paying $1,400 a month. But you know, and my apartment's clean. You know, it's not bad. It's just when you go on the street, it's a fucking nightmare.
Is it high crime or is it just
high crime?
Drug addicts everywhere, shitting in the street, and you know, every time you walk, somebody's hitting you up to sell you drugs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Human feces in the street is
you have
not...
a smartphone. John, you have a smartphone?
Yeah.
Good. So download an app, one of the police scanner apps, San Francisco Police, turn it on. And walk around with that thing in your pocket, the broadcast, the rebroadcast on the scanner app, and nobody will approach you in San Francisco. I'm sure it works in other cities too.
Really?
I got that Citizen app that it tells me whenever there's like a
just go on whatever it is you use. I use Apple, and just for mine is called Police Scanner Pro.
Am I glad we're at the end of the show now? This is information everybody out there wants.
All that does is just let you listen in on the.
Yeah, but if you put that in your pocket where people can't see it, they'll think you're a cop and they'll leave you alone.
By the way, Scott, so nice having you here. You know, I really appreciate it. I enjoy you. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Alan, nice having you here as well. And Charlie Wallace, always nice having you here. And Tony, glad you called tonight. John Larkin, glad you called. If John hadn't called and Tony hadn't called and Scott hadn't called, I'd be here with 3 people. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, have a good weekend, everybody.
What do you mean? This isn't the last show of the week.
Oh, it isn't? Oh, sorry.
Don't tell him, Alec. Don't tell him.
See what I mean about losing track of things?
No, right. We have one more show this week, Bob. Anyway, Alan, thank you, or Bob as I like to call you. Charlie, thank you. Hey, good to talk to you, Tony.
Can you just go through this list?
I'm going through it again. Thank you, Jeff.
Sorry.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you to John Larkin. Everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a wave goodbye at you. Okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Let me just kind of do a little cleaning up here of them and get rid of them. There they go. Jack Bishop is next. He's here with The Intersection, and he'll be taking calls on Skype at GabNet Live. I'll be back again tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll keep doing this till I drop. It'll be the last show of the week, in case Bob wants to know. And it's the last show of the week, and we should have some fun with it. Yeah, okay. So I'll see you at 10:30 tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, be safe out there. Wear a mask. And get the vaccine more than anything else. Let's get herd immunity as fast as we possibly can. Bye.